Right, welcome to part 3 of this diorama for Palms Village. Thank you very much for sticking with us for so long, especially after the last section, which was boring as hell. I'll be perfectly honest, I watched it back when I was editing it and I lost the will to live. So thank you for sticking with us. Lesson learned, I shall make it more informative, shorter, snappier, whatever it is you're supposed to do. Oh, and yeah, something else that I managed to get wrong. Apparently I'm supposed to be telling you to like and subscribe and whatever it is that social media... Comment, yeah.
Follow me on Insta,
yeah, what she says.
Links below.
Yeah, well, it will be at the end. Anyway, back to this. So, it's taken... This is actually 2 days, rather than overnight, that it's had a chance for the texture gel to cure, and it is all now nice and solid. And I'll be perfectly honest, the only reason why it was 2 days was because it took me that long to edit the other videos. But what we're going to do now is start applying some paint. The reason we're doing this, even though it's all supposed to be snow and you would think it was white, if you look at any kind of snow that's lying on the ground, there's highlights and shadows and things like that, and it's not a uniform white. Okay, there's lots of bright white and there's greys as well, where it's sort of hidden in shadows and things like that. So to accentuate the fact that parts of this are 3D, we are going to be using 2 colours of paint. The first one is light grey. The second one is a pure white, just to go over the top, and I will show you how to apply those as we go. So where we've got things like the track marks and things like that on the roads, and the sort of piled up snow, in the recesses it's going to be the grey showing, because that would be in shadow and things like that. And then we'll do a special dry brush. It's called dry brush, that's the technique that they use. Coat of white over the top, just to get the stuff that's on the surface showing out properly, and hopefully it'll give the effect of snow. And not only that, but the fact that you've got more than one colour there really does accentuate the fact that it is more of a 3D landscape, albeit on a very small scale, rather than just a piece of plastic. Okay. Now, I will get on with painting that. This was just a very cheap test pot of paint. I don't use expensive craft stuff when I'm doing terrain, because I've got large areas to cover, and this is the most cost-effective way to do it. And it is very durable and brilliant stuff. For the areas like the polystyrene, which I was worried about spray painting over, and I'm not going to be spray painting, I've decided that, but I will be using some artificial snow which comes out of a can, and it will have an accelerant on it, and I don't want that accelerant to burn and dissolve the polystyrene. So on these areas I'm going to be using the paint neat straight out of the pot, but for the rest of it, for speed's sake, I'm going to be using it very watered down and just slapping it on. So I shall get on with that. Right. So neat paint, that's the colour. Okay, you can see it's slightly off-white. We're not talking about a really dark grey. It's a very light grey because we want a sort of a I guess a graduation between that and white. Okay, so like I said, I'm just using it neat, and I am doing the back side of this just in case there's any kind of overspray and it starts biting into it from the back. Just make sure it's got a nice thick coat on there. Oh, almost knocked me water over. Alright. Make sure, especially with this horrible bubbly polystyrene, that you actually get it all the way in, really work it in there. And around the back there. Okay. And I'll just quickly show you the what I'm going to do with the other stuff, and then I will sign off and fast forward and things like that, and just get ahead and paint it. But the watered down stuff that we're going to use around the plastic areas and the stuff that's been hot glued. Okay. Decent splodge of water. Get some paint on, nice and runny, and then just get it on there. Okay, and already you can see how it's covering that over. Okay, and there's a marked difference between the pure white and the grey. Just be aware, what was I thinking? No, it's gone. Oh, yes, that's right. We're not going to worry too much about these areas where the buildings are going to be, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a building there, so we don't have to paint these areas here, okay, or the lake, because that is going to be covered by something else. It's just that textured area that we did earlier, and that's all going to be fine. All right. Han, can you grab us the hairdryer, please?
Where is it?
Somewhere.
Oh, that's helpful. Do you want to like narrow it down? Christchurch?
Yeah, Christchurch. I can't remember where I put it.
Oh my goodness. Such a... Look at that. I found it because I am smart.
Right, so the hairdryer has done its thing, and the paint is at least touch dry, so the next coat can go on. As you can see, there's you can definitely see the difference in colour between what was the bare white and the grey. So now I'm going to show you how to dry brush. Now this is just cheap acrylic paint, straight white, because it comes in a tube. Just get a small amount. Brand new bottle, remember to open it. Right. Because it comes in a tube, just get a small amount out. Pop bottle top or soda, if that's what you call it, in whatever part of the world you are.
Soft drink. I can hear your eyes rolling.
So, dry brushing. I'll show you on this area here because it's nice and regular and it's both the same, sort of the same size, so I can cut it in half, and I'll show you what one part dry brushed looks like as opposed to just with the base coat of grey. The idea about dry brushing is that all you're doing is catching the raised surfaces, okay? So you don't splodge your paintbrush in and then just brush it straight on. You get a little bit on the end, wipe as much off as you possibly can, and then get something like a towel. Use a wee bit more. And what you're after is just a very, very last dry parts left on the bristle. If you can see the end of the brush there, okay, there's hardly any paint on there at all, and then you just flick it over the top, okay, just like that. And because there's hardly any paint on there whatsoever, all it's going to do is catch the raised area. Hopefully you're going to be able to see that in this light because it's not brilliant. Okay, you may need to dry brush a few times. Just slap it on like that, and hopefully, can you see it on there? This area is, I can see it, is far whiter. The raised areas have been highlighted, and you've still got the sort of grey underneath. So I will carry on and get all of the rest of the textured area dry brushed, and then we'll move on to what's going to be the last stage for tonight. Right. Okay, so that's it dry brushed. Let's see if I can bring this closer up to the camera so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, certainly you should be able to see around the road area here, and on the raised areas where that white is contrasting with the grey underneath, and so that's now looking more sort of like the sort of slushy horrible stuff that I wanted. The big areas still have to have a final coat of something, but I think all told I'm going to leave it there for tonight, and I'll pick it up again tomorrow, and that'll give the paint a really good chance to dry without me having to use the hairdryer on it. And we'll apply the final coat of actual snow and see how it looks. So it's been overnight. Everything is now nice and dry, and we're ready to move on to the next stage, which isn't going to happen because, hey, it's our family and nothing ever goes according to plan. What should have happened in this part of the video is that I was going to use some, you know, the spray snow that you get. Normally write things on windows and things like that for decoration. I was going to use some of that, and I was going to use it on the sort of large areas where it was just sort of like open ground and things like that, make it nice and fluffy and that sort of thing. And it was all ready for that, and we hit a technical difficulty. This was the stuff that I got for it, and when I came to do a test just to see how easy it was to work with, you know, what kind of distance I had to hold it from the board, things like that, I found that instead of it being absolutely gorgeous spray snow, it is shaving foam. That is not what I was hoping for. So the next part of the video is going to be delayed until Pam, because she is absolutely wonderful, goes and does a shopping trip and actually gets me the right stuff, and then I'll be able to carry on. So the next stage is going to be applying snow to the large flat areas. We'll cut down the lake, we'll get that into place, and then you'll be able to see it almost complete apart from the backboard. This makes me grumpy. That's why I'm grumpy, Dad. Oh, and because I remembered this time, do the like and subscribe and all that, and comment and that, you know how to do it.